to me that I cannot make it bigger. So I'm going to have to show you the static pictures that are big and then demonstrate it in something only people that can view it on a full big screen will be able to see anything. This is the true of all these complicated tools. So what you're going to do is find these particular functions and monitor them. So we're going to look for create file in this API filter pane. Good, I'm glad you can see it. Right, and then we want these ones. So let's find and check these three. So I'm going to find the create file do kernel 32 create file A. So let me see if I can get to my window. All right. Now I wonder if there's any way to get back to the default view. Layout default. Okay, good. All right. So I want to load. Here I want to search, which is probably this thing. Okay. I want to do create file. Okay. Find next. And okay, there's something called create file. And it doesn't seem to, there, NPI, it all is on the bottom. MF cancel, MF create file, MF end create file monitor. Here's create file W and create file W is in kernel 32. I think that is one of the ones I wanted. Kernel 32, create file W, okay. So I want that one. Well, all right, let's see. I'm going to scroll down a bit. I have create file 2. There is create file A. That's one of the ones I wanted. And there's create file W. Okay, so I got those two, and they're in kernel 32. Now there's one called NT create file. Let's just look for that specifically so I don't have to hunt through so much garbage. NT, there we are, NT create file. And there it is, in NT dill, NT create file. Okay, so now I have checked the three API calls I want to monitor. Now, I'm going to launch Notepad, File, Monitor New Process. Okay, and now I go to C, Windows System 32, Notepad. So C is somewhere here, C, Windows. System 32, and Notepad. Okay. And in the arguments field, I'm going to give it an argument of mynewfile.txt, so it's going to create a file. All right, and then OK. Okay. Well, a notepad box ought to pop up, but instead nothing seems to be happening. mynewfile.txt, there's nothing obviously wrong. Wonder, not my network connection. Well, seems to have frozen up on me. That's rude. Anyway, it should be running Notepad and asking me if I want to create a new file. And for some reason, it has frozen up and died on me. So you can't have everything. Anyway, I'm not going to struggle with this one too much. The point of this thing is you just get to see the API calls and their functions and everything. Looks like I need to restart my virtual machine or something. And you'll see the calls it made and the parameters, which is kind of nice here just to understand how the API calls work. And there's a flag defined, but what's more fun is to steal a password. And you can do that. So you can do it for RDP. So if you launch a remote desktop connection and connect to a computer, you have to have a server, you have to have a machine you can connect to, but you can also use one of mine because you don't have to give it, this one's listening on an RDP port.
You have your notepad, your icon at the bottom of the
Bottom of the screen, I have, oh, the notepad, oh good, it finally moved, thank you, good. It did finally move. It was just very slow for some reason. All right, so let me see how I can do it here. All right, so now once you've done that, it should ask me if it wants to create a new file. And there, I say yes. Okay, and now it creates a file. So at the right, I'm going to see the parameters. Here's the notepad file. I don't care about that. Here's the API calls that were used to do that. And so you can click one of them and it'll give you all the information. So this is NT create file, and here's create file W with the name of the file, mynewfile.txt. And so down here you see the parameters. And one of them is going to be the file name. I'm not seeing it there, but I spelled pre-call value. It's going to be the post-call value here. There's mynewfile.txt. So I passed it this address, which points to mynewfile.txt, and it didn't change. So here's the parameters going in and the parameters coming back. And so somewhere there should be a handle to the new file created or something like that. But anyway, invalid handle value. All right, here's the return value. Okay, so anyway, you can see the details of each parameter call. And the other one, which I don't think I'll bother doing live because it's not that interesting to go through, is you connect to RDP, and then you launch remote desktop connection, and you monitor the running function. And now, if you pick the right things to monitor, you can steal the password. And you do that by monitoring particular cryptography functions, which are somewhere in these instructions. Here they are: crypt32.dil, crypt protect memory, and crypt unprotect memory. That's the ones you have to monitor. And therefore, you can catch the API calls that encrypt it before sending it. That's the point. And therefore, you'll be able to go here, and you'll be able to see the plaintext password. Here's my password, PADSSWRD123. It's in the call to crypt protect memory, which is just what you'd figure. It was in plain text. It was passed in as a parameter to an encryption function to encrypt it and then send it out through RDP. So that I thought was pretty interesting.
This
Yeah.
API monitor only look at the API calls.
Yeah, it just monitors API call of Windows. And so you already have to have root on the machine, administrator. So I mean, in a way, but it helps you understand Windows is the point. It's not really exactly letting you do something too surprising, but it is helping you understand how Windows works. All you do is ask the kernel to do this, ask the kernel to do that. That's what all your programs are doing. All right, so let me stop this one.